Good evening, all my little Pokemons. Mewtwo with you today, feeling rather, well, princessy and floofy. Yes, I'm wearing my pink and yellow satin princess dress. Because reasons. So, anyway, today will be just basically a kind of a state of the fluff video. I haven't actually done one of these in a bit, so I felt like we were due. So, what's going on? Well, I did kind of give you a sort of update on Friday last week that I got the snowsuit and I showed it to you, and, well, it's Wednesday now. Progress has been made. So, Friday after the video was recorded, I uploaded the video, obviously. Then I got out my scissors, and I started to rip seams out. And by the time I got to bed that Friday night, I had everything ripped out that I was going to need to rip out. Both seams from wrist cuff to ankle cuff completely open. Both the lining and the outside. And I found the hood seam, and I completely detached that. Good news, things are going well. Over the weekend, I successfully augmented the hood to the way I wanted it. I expanded it out. I gave it a little bit more length, so, well, it's tall enough to go over my human head, not my furry head, so it's not going to be necessarily a hood I can wear on a costume, but this is much more of a functional object than a photo object, as it were. I'm doing it to actually be able to use it. So I add a little bit taller so it'll fit around my head. I also put a nice big fluff trim on the front of it so it does look awesome. And I put a fur lining in it so it feels nice. So that's all progress so far. And as of right now when I'm recording this video, I have cut the fabric for the two wrist to ankle stripes, which were about 70-ish inches long each. Yes, that is about 6 feet long that I had to sew 4 times each, because when I sew something, I do it once, twice. And then, of course, because it is an object with 2 sides, to fill in a seam with an extra chunk, the other side has to be once, twice. So each of those seams on the outside, just the outside layer, is around 280 inches of sewing. I am currently on the 4th of the seams, the second on the second piece, well into first trip down on it. So by the end of today, I'm hoping to have all of the outside stuff sewn on. The hood completely sewn and attached back in, so that's all set. And then I have to do the 2 lining stripes to add in where those were, and a couple of lining seams which I accidentally undid that I need to do. Not a big deal. I'll just quick stitch those back together. That's not exactly a end of the world moment. One of them was mostly ripped up on its own anyway because, well, tension, and it was, the liner was tighter than the outside was, and moving around I apparently pulled the seam a little bit. And that's fine. I mean, honestly, I'm expanding the seam by 4 inches. 4 inches on the outside on both sides, and I will be doing about 4.5 inches on each side on the inside of the lining part, just to make sure there's plenty of flexibility space. I don't want this to be at all tight. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to drive a car, walk around, and not feel like I'm about to explode. I know, I ask too many things in life. That's my bad. So far, it does not seem like I'm going to have to make the waistband object I was thinking I might have to do. If it feels like I need that, I can still end up cutting the thing, effectively cutting the whole thing in two and sewing that in place. That'll be a little bit more of an iffy, weird part. But if need be, I know I can do it. I'm not too concerned. And of course, after I do the two stripes down on the lining, I'm going to add furry cuffs into the wrists and kind of fetlock fluff around the feet, the leg openings as well, to really give it a full awesomeness effect. And I have a feeling things are working out good so far. Everything's attaching well. The hood actually looked pretty good before I sewed it into place, and as far as I can tell, it looks fine because the thing's still inside out, so I can't be 100% that everything looks great, but I think it does. Good. I did have one sewing excitement item there, and that was when I was pinning the hood on, because I'm pinning padded material plus multiple layers of padded material plus the layer of fur that I was using as the trim to the neck, plus the layer of fur that was the liner. And all this is really thick. So you're really pushing to put the pins through to hold it together. No, using those clip thingies would not have worked here either, because you're not going to be able to have it effectively keep track of all of those layers. Pins was really the only way to go. So as I was pinning, at one point, I pushed the pin through. Stuff was sitting on my lap, and I had one hand under the fabric, and I was holding it, and I was pushing the pin through from the top where I could see, and I poked myself. Now, I've poked myself more than a few times while sewing. That's old hat. I'm used to, I stabbed my finger. I've even sewn my finger and not noticed until I went to move the fabric and realized I had effectively gone under the layer of dead skin, and I am now attached to whatever I was working on. Usually those points come to, okay, which is going to be easier? Letting the skin break on my finger, which is already kind of damaged off, or do I have to cut the thread and redo things? Usually it comes down to I just go, alright, it's already damaged there anyway. I already damaged myself, as it were. It's not going to make any more hurt. But this time, did I go into the squishy part of my finger? No. In fact, it made a popping noise as I made it through. This was going with a lot of pressure through the back of a fingernail. When I say I went through the back of the fingernail, I went through the back of the fingernail with gusto. Now, this was an interesting feeling. Yes, obviously pain. Made it through the fingernail itself and well into the squishy part underneath. Again, force enough that I made it through the fingernail. The squishy part underneath has a lot less resistance. If you make it through part A, part B, you're going to make some distance. Now, this happened under fabric. I can't see my finger yet. All I know is that hurt. I am now feeling stuck to the fabric. Uh-oh. It honestly felt, from the way it felt, like I went through my finger, not just stopped partway through. Fortunately, that was not the case. But when I attempted to pull my finger away, I couldn't. Because when you push into your squishy part of your finger, there's enough flexibility on the skin. If you pull back out, even if you're not pulling quite straight, you're probably going to pull out. You're going to pull the needle out. When you've gone through something stiff like fingernail, it can hold on quite well. So I attempt to pull my pointer finger off my left hand out from underneath the collar. That didn't work. I can't see this yet because I now have to delicately move the fabric with my right hand, which is covered in pins, by the way, because I'm pinning this. Trying to maneuver everything and my hand in a way so I can see what's going on, so I can safely remove my body from the thing I'm sewing. I was able to do so. And it scabbed instantly. Unlike, say, a direct wound in the squishy part of your body, there was no ripping, no tearing. There was a pinprick the size of the diameter of, the circumference of the pin was the entirety of the hole, nothing else. I stopped for a bit just to make sure everything, dry. I didn't want to leave red spots in my new outfit I'm working on. Now it scabbed over like almost instantly. I have a little red dot on the back of my left pointer finger now. It's near the top, but it was still in the squishy zone, so yay. I know I made an interesting, painful shriek, and Autumn was sitting to my behind me at the time, and he turned around and said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think. Yeah, I seem fine." After the actual incident, it didn't hurt or anything. It didn't even get itchy or anything, so that's pretty good for an owie like this. I definitely feel it was more the scariness of what actually happened, followed by the fact that I was stuck. But the initial ow was all I got out of that one, so awesome. Yay! Adventures in sewing. So if anyone thinks sewing is completely safe and no one's going to get hurt, sorry. I hold my beer. Anyway, that was a little bonus sewing bit for you. So, it's a little state of the fluff for you. Nothing exciting going on too much. Hopefully I'll get the snowsuit done in the next week or so, and it'll show up on a video. And then next winter, I'm going to wear it out and about. I will go grocery shopping in this. I will go take walks in it. I'll do whatever in my warm, comfy snowsuit. So for now, thank you all for spending some time with the silly Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed the updates on the snowsuit and the updates on my having an owie. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the little dingly bell for the little dingly bell. Let you know I post new videos. Who knows? It could be the silly Pokemon or anyone else. And possibly more useful information like this. You never know what you're going to see. And of course, both my Patreon link and my Coffee link are in the description box below, both of which are great ways to help support me and my channel and help me make better videos for you, my awesome public. Now, normally I just ask for something that made you smile today, but I haven't had a bonus option. You can either say what made you smile in the comments today, or you could say some weird owl you got that just was way out there. Just something that it's like, you could do that? Something you did that hurt. I'm not like masochistic. I'm just curious for any weird off-the-wall injuries someone may have had too. Anyway, that was that for today. thank you again for spending some time with this silly Pokemon. I look forward to, controlling all your minds again later. Yeah. Thanks again, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye. Yeah, that was bad. Bye!